So welcome back to chapter number 6, where we want to create an easy rig for an easy character. I call this character Ball because his main body looks like a ball. Okay, this character here is created with a few pieces of spheres, and this ones here are cylinders and a few cubes, and that's all. How can we create here easily a good working rig? So what is a good working rig? A good working rig is a rig that helps us to animate a character in an easy and flexible way. So let me show first a more or less a bad rig. So we go to the side view, create a new skeleton under the setup tab, and let's say this one here should be our body control, and normally from this joint on here we would create a new bone to this side here and another bone for this side here, and this should be our hip. And now we go downwards. This is the upper leg and this one here is the lower leg. So this could be a normal rig for this character, but go to the animate tab and let's try this rig. And if I move up and down or forward to the sides and forward and backward, the body control, you can see that the hips here are squashing together here, and we had to tweak this out, and we have to do a lot of adjustment for our character to move him correctly, and it's a lot of work. And so we need another solution to create an easier to control rig. So one solution could be to create a separate skeleton for the legs. Let's try this. So let's reload this scene, and let's start again by creating a skeleton. Also this one should be the body control, and now we create another skeleton just for the leg. And we start here on the hip, and this should be our upper leg, and another bone for the lower leg. And let's bring that into position. So well, now we make this skeleton to a subskeleton from this bone here. That means choose this bone, and with the right mouse button drag and drop the skeleton 1 to this bone. So go to the animate tab, and if we now select this joint here and move it up and down, this one will follow. So far so good. The problem is now if I move that here forward and backward, we see the subskeleton is absolutely stiff attached to the bone. So always if we move the body, we had to readjust the joints from the subskeleton, and this is also not a good working rig, but it is a good working rig or method for the arms of a character. So normally I use this method to attach the arms to the main body, so that I can first animate the body and the legs, and later I animate the arms. So let's reload this scene and try another method. Again we create a skeleton. This one is also our body control. Go to the other view, and now from this joint on I create a separate joint, bring them in position, and create another one, bring them also into position, both joints we go downwards and create the legs. This one first. Oh, it's better on this side. Again, it's the lower leg. Now, the next one is the foot and the toe. And we do the same thing for this side. Create a new bone. It's the upper leg. The next one the lower leg. The next one is the foot. And the next one is the toe. So we have now a lot of bones. And we now have to attach all pieces of our character to the bones that represents this movement, and we also have to rename all the bones so that we can find it easily. I do this and I come back in just a second. So here I'll be back. I have now attached to this bone here the body piece, also these spheres here, these are the hips, and so on. It's only attaching, it's not skinning. So let's go to the animate page and let's move this up and down. You can see just these objects here are following. So we have to do a little bit stuff here. In this case I want to add these and this joint here to this bone. So this bone is the body bone. So let's figure out which joints they are. This is joint number 2 and this is joint number 7. So let's attach these joints also to the body. And if I now go back to the animate tab and move this up and down, you can see the joints are following. Pretty cool. So what we want to do is now, if I move the character down, you can see the feet are going under the ground, or they move, and I don't want that they move if I drag here up and down. So what can we do? We can nail these both joints. In the other case also, if I move this down, the joint here is jumping around. That means we also nail this one. And at last, if I move this here, also this joint here moves, we also nail this one. Okay, so let's go to the setup and go to the joint and say we nail this one, this one, this one, this one, and also this one. So let's go back to the animate tab and let's try this out. And I can now move up and down my character. Pretty cool. Well, the knees are not so okay, but it's not a problem. And also I can move up and down the foot, and the hip is not moving. Perfect. One problem is here. I can well, I'll show this from this side view here. If I try to move the foot, it's not so easy because it's inverse kinematic and he tries to the other joints following this joint here. In this case, forward kinematic would be better. So let's do that. Go back in the setup and we say for this one here that he has to work in parent mode, and also this joint here has to work in parent mode, and the same thing for the other foot. Back to the animate and let's move this foot a bit, and you can see now it works very well. And this would be a good character rig for animating our character.